Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ukakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I am not a member of Great Millstone, but that is where I receive all my teachings. And shalom to you, brothers. Just going to do a quick hit, going into one thing that was promised to the children of Israel, and the children of Israel, who we know will be today as predominantly the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? And also the speckled bird, the children of Israel who looks like the other nations, right? So we're going to get into the kingdom to come, right? Because that was one of the things that was promised to the children of Israel, that in the latter days and the end times, we will have we will be co-heirs with the Messiah, whose name is not Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai, that we will be in rulership, an everlasting rulership, a kingdom that will never fall. And right now, we're going through our punishment, but soon the kingdom to come is going to be beautiful. So let's get into it. Just going to do a few quick ones. We're going to start at Micah 2:10. Micah 2:10, and it reads, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." So when what that is talking about is pretty much get your mindset out of this place, as in America, which the scriptures coin Great Babylon, is don't put all your eggs in this basket, that this kingdom is temporary, that you should mentally and physically not be invested into this place, right? So it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." So that's basically America in a nutshell, because everywhere you look, it is pollution, it is destruction. It's like, it's the valley of the shadow of death. Everything here breeds death. You know what I'm saying? Even something that's so simple as just leaving the house and going to the grocery store to go get a carton of milk. You might not make it home, The water that you drink has been polluted. The air that you breathe has been polluted. The food that you intake has been polluted. When you're in the kingdom, and the grocery store has to have an organic section of the food, that gives you a clear indication right there that, more than likely the food that, and the organic is more expensive, the more than likely the food that we have been consuming is polluted. It's defiled. It's not good for you. And that's been proven over and over and over again, right? So one more time before we head to the next one. Micah 2:10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sore destruction." All right. So we're going to head over to Ezekiel. And usually I would show the Bible on the screen and I would go through, but I just love this picture right here so much. It's so beautiful. I'm just like, let me just use this picture, and I'll keep it on this picture for the remainder of the lesson. So let's go to Ezekiel 4:13. And it reads, "And the Lord said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I have drive them, whether I will drive them." So when it says amongst the Gentiles, it means amongst all these other nations that the Lord drove the children of Israel, predominantly in the land of the north, Babylon the Great, which is America, but all other nations in the world. And we are eating polluted bread. We are eating things that pretty much will destroy us. We are not permitted to eat certain things, you know. Now, in our kingdom, once we get our rulership back, we won't have this problem. Everything is going to be done in righteousness, right? But right now, we are in a prison camp. We are in prison to these other nations, and the food that we intake, it is, you know what I'm saying, if it slowly kills you, right? Some of this stuff have hidden ingredients in it that is an abomination unto us, like the toothpaste, the deodorant. Even though you don't intake deodorant, but you're still putting it on your skin. The scripture says you're not supposed to even touch a dead swine. And, you know, when you brush your teeth, you're putting it in your mouth. I'm not saying go eat a tube of toothpaste, but still, you know, you putting it in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Reports have been shown that some of the water bottles they used to use was made with pig enzymes. You know, the plastic water bottles. You know, our people eat a lot of pork. You know, our people eat a lot of defiled, detestable foods because they don't know, you know. So let's read it one more time. Ezekiel 4:13. "And the Lord said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them." So this is also a part of our punishment for not following the law, statutes, and commandments. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, the Lord driven us into these different nations to where, you know, sometimes you don't have no other choice but to eat what's there. So this is a part of our punishment, but you got to do the best you can to not eat and not intake some of this stuff. Catfish, shrimp, crab, lobsters. You know, I was watching this TV show the other day. They had Jake on there cooking a goddamn alligator. Like, an alligator, bro, really? He was out there Louisiana doing, you know, cooking, barbecuing a damn alligator. You know, and those type of things are, you know what I'm saying, we are not to consume. That's for the other nations. But we ain't supposed to be putting that shit into our body. That's why a lot of our people have hypertension, diabetes, heart disease. You know, they got to get their limbs cut off. So that's just another part of the curses. But in our kingdom to come, man, everything is going to be beautiful. We're not going to be eating these type of foods. Everything is going to be delicious. Like, you ain't never had chicken until you had a pure chicken that has no chemicals. You never had a cow until you had a pure cow with no chemicals. You never drank water until you drank some pure water that hasn't been tainted with chemicals. You know, the air is going to taste better. The water's going to taste better. It's just going to be a beautiful utopia in our kingdom. You know, just as bad that the Lord has put us in a bad state right now, just imagine what he's going to do for us when we when the Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, comes back and he puts everything back in his rightful rulership, in his rightful place, how beautiful the world is going to be, because we're going to rule this world in righteousness. And for any of these heathens that don't want to do what we command them to do, they're going to perish. But our kingdom is going to be beautiful, man. It's going to be breathtaking. You can't really even put into words how beautiful the kingdom is going to be, and how on a much higher level we're going to be. It ain't going to be no rap videos. It ain't going to be no bad bitches. It ain't going to be no fuck nigga free. It ain't going to be none of that, you know what I'm saying, that low level bullshit that we go through now. And, you know, it goes into more than just food. You know, it all goes into what you see and what you hear. Man, the kingdom is going to be beautiful. We just got to endure for right now. So let's read that one more time before we move on. Ezekiel 4:13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. Okay? So let's keep it going. We're gonna go into Revelations, because Revelations kind of gives you an idea of what the kingdom is gonna look like. And y'all gotta excuse me in this Revelations, because some of these words is gonna be pretty hard for me to pronounce. But if you wanna go back and read it for yourself, I recommend that. But I'll do the best I can. So let's do Revelations. Let's start at chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcome and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. See, I was just saying that. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as a vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? As long as you stay to the best of your abilities within the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, as long as you follow his laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability and endure to the end, because there's some hard times coming along. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to give us a kingdom where we rule over the nations, and then we're going to make them follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we're going to rule them with a iron rod. So what that means is we're going to rule them very strictly. We're not going to let them go off. We're not going to let them have weapons. We're not going to let them fight. We're going to have total rulership of the entire earth, and that is the kingdom to come. And that is only for the children of Israel. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and those other Israelites that were scattered into all these other nations. We will rule the earth with the iron rod. And a lot of people would say, well, that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound, you know what I'm saying, right. But check it out. Just what I was just saying a few minutes ago. Everything is going to be back to in its rightful state. Everything is going to be pure. So the air is going to be nicer. The food is going to be nicer. We're going to rule in the rightful rulership. We're not going to rule like no tyrants. You know what I mean? We're not going to rule this place like Esau, the so-called white man. We're not going to rule like them. We're not going to rule like the Ammonites or the Moabites. We're not going to rule, or the Ishmaelites. We're not going to rule like that. We're going to rule in total righteousness. And it's going to be better for everybody. We're not going to oppress people. You know what I mean? Everyone is going to be, once they get into suggestion, you know what word I'm looking for. But once they get their mind right, they're going to understand, like, damn, this is the right way to rule. This is the rulership from on high, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Like the prayer, like the Our Father's prayer said, on earth as it is in heaven. right? So this place is going to be ruling and rightful rulership. So it ain't going to be nobody taking each other land. It ain't going to be nobody out here popping each other wives. Your women are going to be in total subjection. And that doesn't mean that we're going to oppress our women. It just means that they're going to be under the rule of their husbands, right? And if you're under the rule of your husband and your husband doing good, he got his own livestock. Trust me, it's a better way. You know, some people can't wrap their mind around it because a lot of people just want to be wicked and they want to be free and they want to do what the hell they want to do. But that's not how it's going to go. You see where that got us. Being free and doing what you want to do and YOLO and obey your thirst and just do it. All these phrases that is totally against order. There is no order in this kingdom. In our kingdom, there will be pure order. And everyone will be better off with that. Okay? So let's read that one more time. Revelation chapter 2, start at 26. And he that overcometh and keep my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of an iron. As the vessel of a potter shall they be broken in shivers, even as I received of my Father. Okay? So let's stay in Revelation. We're going to head over to chapter 21. Revelation 21 and 18. Okay. And this goes into the description of kind of how the kingdom is going to look and how beautiful it is going to be. So Revelation 21, let's start at 18. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold like unto clear glass. And the foundation of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third. See, this is where the words get crazy. Chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth, the seventh. I mean, basically, it's just going into how beautiful the kingdom is going to be and how it's going to be arrayed with beautiful stones. And you can go back and read this chapter if you like, or just read this Revelations 21:18 through 21. And it just goes into how beautiful the kingdom is going to be, how basically our kingdom is going to be made out of raw materials. And when I say raw materials, I mean gold, stones, silver. Like it's a lot of people know that these metals and these stones, they give off certain energies, right? So our kingdom is going to be like decked out in the finest of the fine. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Coming to America. It's going to be that times a million. We're going to be wearing pure gold. We're going to have all type of precious stones, sapphires, rubies. You know what I'm saying? Of course, diamonds. We're going to do diamonds, but that's low level. You know what I mean? Diamonds is going to be low level for us because everybody got diamonds, So we're going to be like, Jake loved to dress and Jake loved to show out. Jake loved to stunt, so to speak. So we're going to be stunting hard. we gonna stunt harder than than you can imagine. So let's head into Isaiah. Kingdom's gonna be beautiful, man. Right, this place ain't nothing. Even if you go to Dubai or if you go to some of the best cities in the world and you see how decked out and how nice everything is, man, that shit ain't gonna have nothing on our kingdom. That's gonna be like the ghetto to us. It's gonna be like the ghetto. You know, the cars give off pollution. You know what I'm saying? Our whatever vehicles we have that's gonna transport us, it's not even gonna give off no pollution. Everything, man, this place is gonna be beautiful. The animals are gonna be happy again. The earth is gonna be happy again. And we're not gonna have no problems, man. So let's go to Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So now when it's saying, the Lord gonna put us back in our own land, so of course he gonna rescue us out of this place. And when it says strangers, that's talking about the Israelite foreigners that looks like the other nations. They look like Koreans. They look like Japanese. They look like so-called white people. They look like Edomites. They look like Indians. They look like these other nations, and that's why they're called strangers. And it says, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Okay, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day, and it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows and from thy fear and the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Right? So that's pretty clear cut right there, that the Lord gonna put us back in our own land, and these other nations gonna serve us. And it says, what does it say? And they shall take captives who captives they were. So people that put us in captivity, now we're going to take them captive, right? And the house of Israel shall possess their lands, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. What does that mean? Servants and handmaids. That means slaves. I mean, we're not gonna have a captivity like Esau did, so-called white man, when he brought us over here on them slave ships. We're not gonna do all that, man. We're not gonna be raping the men and raping the women. We're not gonna be doing all that. But we is gonna put our foot up their ass though. They gonna be working. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be working. We gonna put their ass to work. And their daughters and they women, they gonna be handmaids to our women. They're gonna be running our women's bath water. They're gonna be washing these dishes. They're gonna be sweeping up these houses. They're gonna be doing everything. We gonna be in pure righteousness. It's gonna be in our kingdom. This is the kingdom to come for the children of Israel. It's the big payback, right? Because almost since the test of time, only time that Israel was really in peace is, what I'm saying, basically during King Solomon's reign. We did real good with King David's reign, but what I'm saying, King David was a man of war. So we were subduing all the nations under David. And what I'm saying, when King Solomon came in, we was just living in pure bliss. And they say King Solomon, what I'm saying, that was like a prelude to the kingdom. And they say King Solomon had plates made of gold. If a fly landed on the plate, they threw the plate away. We was balling, man. So let's stay in Isaiah. And stay in Isaiah. head over to chapter 60. And sometimes it's good to read out of the book. I usually do the phone, but sometimes it'd be cool to read out of the book too, man. So, let's do Isaiah 60. We're going to start at verse 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up the walls, and the kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee. So that's the Lord saying, I know I put y'all through it, but I'm going to put y'all back on high. And all these other nations, they're going to minister unto you. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, and there shall not be shut nor day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. So basically, they're going to be tributaries. That's what they're saying. They're going to be tributaries unto us. And day and night, they're going to be bringing us their best stuff, their best spices, their best gold, their best rubies. They're going to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to do it. And this is what's going to happen if they don't. Continuing on. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Right? So he's saying, if they don't want to act right, we're going to have to take them out. Because they going to serve us. They're going to serve us, and that's the kingdom to come. This is the gospel. This is the good news. That even though we're in a low state right now, the Lord is going to put us back on high. And when we get on, we ain't coming back down. Ever, ever, ever. So this is basically, I'm saying, just giving you an idea that these nations are going to serve us. And in the kingdom, they're gonna be trying to push their women off on us. Oh, take my daughter. Because the life that we're gonna be living is gonna be better than any life for any heathen. You know? We're gonna be utterly immaculate. It's like you can't even put it into words the way the Lord is gonna hook us up, man. And you gotta stay within His word. You gotta endure to the end. That's how you get your crown. Even though all of Israel will be straight. We all gonna be straight. But shit, I want to, Lord willing, I'm of the elect. I want to be one of the elites. You know? I want to be a servant of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Because this is His promise to us. And that's why when the Lord was on the scene as Yahweh Shai, His disciples used to always ask Him, will thou now restore the kingdom unto Israel? That's what that's what they wanted. They wanted rulership. Let's look that word up. Let's look that word up. Okay. Kingdom. Let's go all the way down. A domain in which something is dominant. A country with the king as a head of state. Let's see what it says up here, too. I don't see nothing in here good. Let's look here. Look right here. The next world, the hereafter. Right? That's the next world. And this is what we was talking about right here. When we was like, may thy kingdom come, right? In reference to a spiritual reign of Yahweh or Hamashiach, right? So this is what's coming to the children of Israel. Pure righteousness. Man, we're gonna have them beautiful bodies. Our mental state is gonna be on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? You know, man gonna have many wives. And, a lot of women, they shun at that. And, I'm going to be the only one. See, excuse me. Our mental is going to be on such a different level. You're not going to worry about if your husband got another wife. Man, you're going to be fully taken care of. Right? You're going to be fully taken care of. You're not going to care. You're going to be mad because he ain't got another wife. Because if your husband got many wives, that means he's a very powerful man within the kingdom. And that's what you're going to want. You're going to want to be with a very powerful man. You're going to want him to spread his seed. You're going to want him to thrive. Okay? So in the kingdom, having many wives is a blessing. It's not only a blessing to the man, it's a blessing to the wives. Because if he got many wives, that means he can take care of them all, right? Okay. So let's go into Luke 1 and verse 68. And it reads, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel." And this is the New Testament, y'all. God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up the horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all those who hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant. See? So that goes back to you Christians. The covenant was only given to the children of Israel. Okay? And we continue on. The oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he will grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the land of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness, in righteousness before him all the days of our life. So that was... So like you for that. So that's basically saying, he gonna put us back on high as he promised. That he ain't forgot about us. He gonna save us out of the land of our enemies. That basically was self-explanatory. I didn't really have to break that down. Okay? So we're gonna finish it up. We got one more. We're gonna go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, that's them other nations, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Hopefully this was edifying. Until the next time, shalom.